Before fashion weeks, there were royal courts, and before luxury houses, there were master tailors. Now, long before today runaways, clothing already reflected three things: identity, craftsmanship, and status. And walking through this medieval festival reminded me that fashion isn't only about what's new. Sometimes, understanding where style comes from reveals why certain ideas never disappear. As I wandered around, surrounded by merchants, musicians, and artisans, it felt like history came alive. But what fascinated me the most wasn't simply the atmosphere. It was the clothing. One of the few things that people realize is that medieval clothing wasn't just about keeping warm. It was a way of communicating status, profession, and even wealth before anyone spoke a word. Before logos, before designer labels, clothing was already telling the world who you were. And the more closely I looked, the more details began to reveal their meaning. One detail that immediately caught my attention was the incredible use of color. Today, anyone can wear almost any color. But during the Middle Ages, color itself could be a luxury. Rich blues, deep reds, vibrant fabrics, they often reflected wealth because producing those colors required expensive natural dyes. Then there was the embroidery. At first, it simply looked beautiful, but it carried meaning. Embroidery wasn't simply decoration. It often reflected wealth, religion's beliefs, family identity, or regional traditions. Every thread contributed to a larger story. And behind every one of those details, there was someone whose hands had created them. Watching the artisans at work made me appreciate something we often take for granted nowadays. Perhaps the biggest difference between then and now is that every garment was handmade. Every stitch represented time, patience, and human skill. The same was true for the leatherwork, for the woven fabrics, for the carved wood, even for the food being prepared. Nothing felt rushed. Everything reflected craftsmanship, and it reminded me that true luxury has never been defined by speed. It has always been defined by care. And that's when another thought came to mind. One of those things that surprised me most is that medieval fashion wasn't really about fashion. It was about identity. Every garment reflected a person's place in society. Every material, every color, every embroidered detail communicated something about the individual wearing it. Looking around, I couldn't help noticing how many of those ideas continue to influence fashion today. Layering, structured silhouettes, leather craftsmanship, rich textures, and fashion changes, but craftsmanship leaves a lasting legacy. Visiting places like this remind us that history isn't something we simply read about. It's something we can experience, and perhaps that's why medieval fashion still fascinates us today. Not because we want to dress like the past, no, but because it reminds us that great clothing has never been only about appearance. It has always been about craftsmanship, identity, and the stories we choose to tell. Fashion trends come and go. Craftsmanship endures. And perhaps the most timeless designs aren't remembered because they were fashionable. They were remembered because they were meaningful. Join me as I continue exploring the stories behind fashion, craftsmanship, and timeless design. Here is Ralu, founder of Ralufineart, signing out.